Hey everyone, it's me, Coach Noah, and welcome back to the Moa Noah podcast, where you want some Moa Noah. I really should probably change that, but welcome back, and this is where we're going to talk about movement, mindset, and everything in between. Today's episode is all about me, not like an egotistical way, but because I think sharing my own journey, my struggles and evolution over the past 34 years, yes, I talk about my age, will resonate with a lot of people and maybe even inspire some people, or I'll lose a lot of people who might listen to this podcast. If you've ever had to adapt your training due to life changes, injuries, or straight up exhaustion, then this episode is for you. So the first section of this podcast episode is called Training with Kids, kind of like a reality check for me. This is a big game changer for me. In 2021, I had my first child with my partner in life, my partner in crime. And now she's almost 4 years old, and now we have another one who's just turned 5 months old. And let me tell you, until I had kids, I was a savage. Not only with myself, but with my clients. Like back in the day, I would hear my clients say, I just don't have any time. I'm sorry. I'm too tired to cook. I'm too tired to work out. Life is just too busy. I can't come to training. And I would usually respond with like, you don't have the time, just make time. Like, what are you talking about? Training belongs in your life. If you don't make it a priority, then, well, you're just kind of going to slowly decay. And now looking back, I probably sounded like a drill sergeant asshole. Sorry to swear, but that's probably just what I sounded like. And here's the thing. Maybe that's why my clients loved me, because I was like that. I had no remorse or sympathy for anyone for not coming or not signing a contract with me. And I pushed them to be disciplined. I pushed them past their own mental barriers, and we had a lot of success together. But now, I get it. Unfortunately, I get it. When I'm not working, organizing life, or out and about, making network connections, I want to be with my family. I want to watch my kids grow. I want to make memories with them. I want to watch them trip. I want to see everything. I want to be a part of everything. And I want to be present. And that creates, in my head, a massive question mark. I've been struggling with it since my first daughter was born. How can I be a professional and a great present dad at the same time? And also, where does training fit into that picture? For me, luckily, training isn't just something I do. It's a way of life. So I look at walks and I look at health in a very different way now. And I want my kids to see that as well. I want them to see that I take the time. I want them to see me making it work. And that kind of got my ass back in order after quite a long break. But I just want my family and my friends to see how much I appreciate movement and lead by example in a way. So I've adapted. Sometimes I include my kids. Like, they have to be in the sport room with me, or go on a run with me on my shoulders, or in the park, in the buggy, whatever. Sometimes they just do their own thing. They play. Luckily, I have a little workout room in my apartment, so we have the space. And sometimes I just squeeze it in wherever I can. And definitely my workout routine is not as intense. My workouts are not as long. I used to go to the gym. I'd be gone for 3 hours. Took me about 30 minutes to get there, warm up, work out for 1 to 2 hours, and then get home. And I'm pretty sure my partner would kill me if I was working out for 3 hours every day. But yeah, because of my kids or my life at this moment, my fitness has suffered a bit, but that's just an excuse. I tell my clients all the time, do what you can with what you have. In the breath work line of work that I do, I always say one breath is better than no breaths. In fitness, one repetition, one walk, one squat is better than no squats. So if we can change our mindset on that, maybe it'll work. And now I have to follow my own advice, which is crazy. So in 2021, not only did I have my first child, but I got hit with a really hard sickness, and nobody really knew what it was. But now that research and things are starting to come out, they're telling me that it was severe side effects from the COVID vaccine. And I was literally bedridden for a whole month. My body was shutting down. If I would get up out of bed, my heart rate would skyrocket. I would get chills and a fever from just putting my daughter in bed. She was a baby this big, and if my partner needed a break and it was my turn to put her to sleep, I would have to go to sleep for 10 hours because my nervous system was just overridden with stress. And at some point, it was about a month, I had gone to the doctor twice because I couldn't stand it anymore. But after that month, I was like, I have to move. It was like a wake-up moment. I cannot live like this. I cannot stay in bed because I feel like I'm going to die. And I luckily had the support of my partner and my friends and pulled myself out of bed and decided to go on walks every single day. And then I had this realization, hey, wait, I'm a Wim Hof method instructor. Why don't I start doing the breathing every single day? Do a little bit of cold, tiny little bits, just my legs, just my hands, just my feet. Work my way into it. Literally doing things that I tell clients and people every single day, but never had to actually do it because I was always healthy and my body was already at a high level of training. But this brought me back down to zero, or even negatives, I guess you can call it in my case. But I fought really, really hard. I stuck to it every single day, and I was able to walk. I was able to then put my daughter to sleep slowly, but still, like, I couldn't do much at all. And up until now, I guess it's 3.5 years later, I'm just now starting to feel like myself again after working with a doctor that gave me some supplements that could help and gave me maybe reason why I was feeling this way. And that not only helped mentally, but I definitely started feeling physical results. Like, I think after a year of being not bed rested, but like severely impacted, I finally was able to go on like a jog. And that was that was 2020. What year is it? 2025. So 2023, after like 6 months of running, or about a year of running or jogging by myself, I finally felt comfortable to say, you know what, it's time to get back into it. And that's when I started WeMoa and running with people, because I was scared that I wouldn't have been able to before, which I actually also hear all the time. So just get out there and do it, people, because it's much more rewarding when you do it with people. For a long time, I really felt like I wasn't making progress until maybe 4 months ago, which is insane. I was able to run, I was able to do things. I mean, I ran a marathon, but I wasn't making progress. My marathon this past September, so it's 5 months ago now, was 4 hours and 15 minutes, I think. And I survived. It was nice. I was okay the whole time because I had been doing the training or the stress on the body of just moving for that long. But 5 years prior, I did a marathon in 3 hours and 7 minutes and probably could have gone under 3 if I wasn't partying so much during the race. So just for the comparison, I was still giving my all and having the same experience, but a massive change in fitness. Whoa, super serious podcast right now. We should lighten it up. But yeah, so I'm not 100% back now yet, but I definitely see the light in the end of the tunnel. What matters is I'm training again now regularly. I'm moving again, doing bodyweight exercises, and now I'm finally staying consistent. Whereas before I felt like I was having ups and downs, and I would say, oh, I can do this, and then I'd be knocked out again. So my nervous system is finally feeling regulated. Let's jump into my current training routine because that's what matters right now. I've made it through this hard few years in a good place right now. This is what I'm doing right now. I train, this is my simplified approach. I train 5 to 6 days a week. I do bodyweight training 2 to 3 times per week where I focus on mobility, strength, endurance, push-ups, burpees, jumps to the side. I found some people on YouTube doing animal movement or various flows so that I'm not just doing those typical push-up movements. I want to build my foundation again, and I want to move well. Weights are going to come back soon. I do them maybe once a week, but I want to master my body again. It kind of feels nice. I run once to twice a week. Every Wednesday I run with WeMoa from 7 to 8 p.m. with the community. This keeps me accountable and motivated. Sometimes I'm brutally honest with them. I tell them, oh my gosh, at like 5 p.m. today, I could have gone to sleep. I'm so happy I have y'all to have my back because I would not have gone running today if it wasn't for this group. And then the second running is on my shoulders because I think it's really important to have some accountability for ourselves, not only to get to sessions with other people, but to do things by ourselves in the dark. The light shines in the dark. Or I don't even know what that saying is. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about. The second run is completely on me. There's no structure. It's whatever I want. Anything from 20 to 30 minutes and up, depending on how I'm feeling. And then I do 1 to 2 days of strength training, but that's secondary right now. The other 2 are my main focus. I still hit the weights, but they're not my main focus. Movement quality is important to me right now. But before I get into my final thoughts, I want to shortly talk about training plans and events. How many of you follow a structured plan, like a fitness plan or a nutrition plan or any type of plan, even if you're not training for a specific event? Or do you have a specific event and you're still not following a plan? I'm interested because during my downtime, the 3 years of where I wasn't really feeling great, I had a rough plan. I just couldn't get into it. I kept on hitting a wall. I reached out for help and other coaches, and it just wasn't really working. Every time I reached out to a coach, it helped a little bit, but it wasn't the answer that I was searching for but it was because of things going on inside of my body. But I'm asking because I built this plan for myself, and in the fitness industry, the selling point for us personal trainers is a plan or having someone who's keeping you accountable. And a Berlin half marathon or full marathon, like there's so many plans on the internet. Just get a free one. It's basically just about staying consistent and not overdoing it. And I'm interested also to know how many people are actually following a plan, because even myself, I love the feeling of training freely, not always having a schedule or a time to train or what I have to do on this day and that day. I'm not a professional athlete anymore. I'm a hobby athlete, maybe a bit, hopefully soon, higher end or front of the pack hobby athlete. And I just love the idea of not having the stress of hitting certain sessions on certain days. If I miss leg day, I can do it on a different day. It doesn't mess up my whole life. So share your thoughts if you feel up to it. And yeah, like last year when I was training for the Berlin Marathon, Sunday was long run day. Wednesday was intervals. Friday was usually, if I had time, pushing the limit / my body really wasn't in the mood or had the time to do lactate threshold runs. They suck anyways. And yeah, it's just a whole different vibe right now, and I'm enjoying it. But I kind of have this itch to get into doing an event and training for an event. And that kind of helps give direction to my training, but doesn't have to be the Bible of my life. And so my next event, I'm trying to think of one, and it's probably going to be High Rocks if I can find some people to do it with, because zusammen ist doch way better. It's always more fun together. And I've been wanting to do it forever. Last year I signed up for it and was training for it, and probably would have died, not literally, but I wouldn't have made it to the end. But luckily I fell and hurt my wrist on the ski slopes 2 weeks before the event last year, so I wasn't able to join. Have you heard of High Rocks? If you haven't, it's one of the fastest growing fitness competitions in the world, I think, right now. It's like the perfect blend between strength and endurance. It's a functional race that includes running, strength exercise like pushing sleds or rowing, and lunges or wall balls where you have like a weighted ball and you have to throw it up after a squat. And they're like quite high intensity challenges. And I was talking to a guy who actually works with High Rocks, and he was like, of course there's going to be elite athletes. There's a lot of hot bodies there, but actually it's a race that's designed for anyone and everyone. And that's kind of why it's tickling my fancy right now. So High Rocks is on my radar again this year. I hope that I can manage to fit it in or find a competition that's not a million miles away. Well, we're in Germany. There's nothing that's a million miles away. But that's the goal this year, is to do a High Rocks competition and support friends doing half and full marathons. So the final thoughts are about the evolution of training. And if you would have asked me 5 years ago what my training looked like, I would have talked about crazy endurance events, heavy strength training, and intense structured programming every single day. Monday was leg day push. Tuesday was upper body push. With then craft runners training in the evening. So now it's a little bit different. It's all about moving in a way that feels good. It's about adapting to life's changes, supporting my partner, having the baby in the room, maybe doing squats with the baby rather than 100 kilos. And it's about progress, not perfection, which feels really nice right now. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that training will and should always evolve with you. But movement in life is always going to be essential. Like watching the baby go from not being able to move to rolling over or even crawling and grabbing something. Movement gives us a purpose. It's in our DNA, and that's why I love it so much. And with that, I'll wrap up this episode. If you ever have any questions or ideas or want to chat about your own training, struggles, or life, hit me up, DM me, email me, or send me that carrier pigeon we always talk about if that's your thing. And before I finish up, we are going to do a breathing exercise. This time it's only 3 breaths, nice and easy. And on the 3rd breath, we stretch, hold, contract, and relax. All right? So, as usual, if you're not in your car, on your bike, in a dangerous place, if you're able to close your eyes, do it and just relax. Let's take a deep breath in together. Out through your mouth. Another one. And the last one, hold it in. Tense up just a little bit your body. 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. It feels good. And we did it again. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you at the next one. Zusammen ist doch way better, baby. Love you.